With the way things are going in the global sphere right now, I think Nigeria has a lot of things to do beyond just concentrating on some sectors and all that. I mean, we have political crisis happening globally. We have, ethnical crisis. There's war raging. There's famine. There's climate change and all that, halting global trade. Houthis are, affecting the Red Sea and all that, halting trade and all that. This is time Nigeria begin to start planning how to be sustainable, begin to explore how they can be economically sustainable. This is time Nigeria must just concentrate on investment. Good afternoon. This is another moment with David. I'm here to talk about this issue that was issued today by from the Ministry of Power, talking about that we're going to be saving 1.5 trillion. We don't want to save. We want to invest. The government must have a mindset of investing. Where will this 1.5 trillion go to? We applauded you that you were able to save billions of dollars in the oil subsidy. You were able to save this money from getting to the hands of some minority, less than 1% of Nigerians, exploiting Nigerians. Yes, but where has that money gone? What you did was that you distributed that money on every state governor. Unfortunately, how many governor right now, or how many states is really utilizing this money very well? We expect to be seeing new primary healthcare system. We are expecting to see good roads. We are expecting to see schools. We are expecting to see high growth of infrastructures. But if you do the statistics of what we have been able to roll out to these governors, in reality, in practicality, in reality, that Nigeria could feel is not making any much impact to Nigerians. Because if all these things are going, there should be a kind of stimulation that will affect the job and the growth of the employment in the different states. If every state can begin to develop their own state to create jobs and all that, the pressure will not be too much on the federal government. So this 1.5 trillion that you are saying you're saving, I think it's not too early. It will be too early for Nigerians to start jubilating or celebrating. What will you do with this 1.5 trillion? That is just the hard truth. That is what we should be asking. That is what the government should be thinking of. I understand that the CBN is working hard to strengthen the currency, which will eventually strengthen the purchasing power. But you need to now you need now government, both the federal government and not just the CBN. I don't understand what the Minister for Trade and Investment is doing. It seems she does not understand the nitty-gritty of her office. She doesn't understand that she has the bulk of the responsibility of transforming the Nigerian economic system at her hand. Because right now you should be looking at policies that will stimulate growth, policy that will stimulate real sector, policy that will stimulate sustainable development goals of production. Nigeria need manufacturing. Two economic center that Nigeria must concentrate on right now is you must now begin to concentrate on manufacturing. What do I mean? I'm going to take it bit. When you talk about manufacturing, you must have policy that protect indigenous manufacturing companies. You must give tax rebate. You must give state policies that will enable people to start growing from little. Government must give what I regard as soft loan. So I will advise that this 1.5 trillion should be diverted in empowering small scale manufacturing companies. You might not need to have a very huge manufacturing company like Dangote or like Bua Sugar and all that. But if we can have small manufacturing companies that needs a capital of maybe 100 million, 200 million that can start. These are people, if you have 1,000 of them springing up every year and can create hundreds of jobs individually as an institution, that as a business entity, that is when you can start saying you are transforming the economy. Because if you are saving, if you don't utilize the money properly, it will go, because Nigeria does not have a proper value chain system that creates jobs and that utilizes funds well. Before you know it, you start saying you are giving some money to some senators who will not transform. They go and buy sewing machine, buying grinding machine. This is the same method they've been using to do empowerment. That is not what we need. We need sustainable growth. And when it comes to the terms of agriculture, because I mean that the two sectors that this money should go into, it should go into manufacturing and it should go into agriculture. And government must address the issue of agriculture. We must address the issue of farmer herders clashes and this banditry. That means in this sector, that means we need the security apparatus to also be on board. They must begin to take up the responsibility of clearing those forests, and we must design a policy. Each state should come up with a policy that is conducive, that is acceptable by their people in regards to the farmer herders clashes. This is not time for you to say that the farmers are wrong or the herders are wrong, but the truth is that nobody does open grazing anywhere in the world. if there's no ulterior motive or agenda. This is time that we must sit down and look at this issue critically so that we can grow our economy. I give you reason. This is what Nigeria is losing out. A lot of farmers, there's a record that proves that over 5,000 farmers have been killed between 2023 and 2024. This is very disastrous. Imagine each farmer controls 10 hectares of land and produces 3 tons per those hectares. That is, we have lost over 15,000 or 45,000 tons of cash crops and food crops that could have been turned into the society. And that's why you see farmers are running away. So from the north to the west, this is a universal problem in the state. It's not about the south don't want the herders or the north don't want the herders. If you, the last 3 weeks, the Sokoto, there was crisis between the herders and the farmers. So all this thing must be addressed appropriately. The herders' needs must be met by creating ranches or giving them a secular forest whereby they will be limited to that place so that farmers can grow their crops. If Nigeria realizes, I don't know what the Minister for Agriculture is doing, he's just wearing Babariga all around, just speaking in good English. Go down to the grassroots, partner with states, and begin to develop agricultural solution. The world is in serious problem. There's going to be famine in the global world. Look at the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. See the impact that's created to the wheat. To those of us that are liable, to those of us that are not developed our wheat industry, look at what happened to us. But those who have developed, like Canada, like America, they were not moved, they were not affected. But right now, we have a problem with that. We can't produce wheat. Nigeria spent $3.3 billion importing wheat yearly, because this is wheat that is involved, or that is found in about 60 to 70% of the food that we consume, from flour to bread and used for confectionaries and all that. So what happens to this, our semo and all that? So why are we not developing our own wheat value chain? Kano is the largest producer. Why can't we channel a large chunk of dollars, billions of naira into Kano, Jigawa and other states that can grow wheat, so that we can meet up with our local demand, even if we are not exporting? That is how the CBN and the Minister for Trade and Investment can help us to save our foreign exchange and can reduce the pressure on the foreign exchange. Yes, what the CBN is doing is right, but is it sustainable? Go back and check my last video. I said what the CBN is doing is good, but their policies, are they sustainable? The sustainability is what I'm coming up with now. So